In this video, I'm sharing 3 tips that I follow to make vintage decor items in my own collection look beautifully curated and styled in vignettes all year long. Join me. This glass sits in my home all year long. It's not in a display case, it's part of my life. I'm going to show you how I style these vintage pieces season by season by using simple ideas that work in any home. Or if you're a vintage reseller, these ideas will work to help you set up interesting, curated, styled vignettes for your product photos. I collected these honey gold amber pieces over time. I do offer similar ones in my Etsy shop. I love offering pieces that are easy to style and live with, timeless but not fussy. Welcome to Timeless Style Vintage. If you are one of the tens of people who have stumbled upon this video, this is only the second video that I've posted to this channel. I'm inspired by not only my own collection, but also those items that I collect for other people and sell in my Etsy shop. I want to use this channel to help other people see the beauty of yesterday and how you can bring it into your own home. These are not going to be showroom displays, but based on 3 simple principles, these will be vignettes that you can replicate in your own home. Before I start styling these vignettes, I want to show you the pieces that I have here that I'm going to be working with. Some are quite old and others I've accumulated fairly recently. Probably the oldest pieces, at least the oldest pieces that have been in my possession, are these swans over here. There's a set of 3 swans. My mother passed them down to me. I've always thought they were Blinko, although I know there is a way to tell Blinko swans from Rainbow and other makers. I'm just not sure what I've got here. She believed them to be Blinko, so that's what we always called them. One of them has a broken beak, but it's okay. Not everybody's perfect. Another Blinko piece I have up here is this vase that I recently got at Heart of Ohio, like within the last 2 or 3 years. I got this at Heart of Ohio Antiques and I got it for a good price. I think I paid around $30 for it, but I knew it was going to go into my own collection because I just love this color glass. I'm really not sure where I got this bowl from. It is blown glass because it has a pontil on the bottom, and it's not a polished pontil, so I'm not really sure. I assume it's West Virginia glass, but I'm sure it's not Blinko. I'm just not really sure what it is. I also have this crackle bowl up here that is rainbow glass made in Huntington, West Virginia. For 2 years, I went to college in Huntington, West Virginia at Marshall University, so rainbow glass has a little place in my heart. I recently acquired this Ellie Smith swung vase, and it is kind of cloudy on the inside. I probably wouldn't purchase it for resale just because I wouldn't want somebody to be disappointed, but when I saw this at Goodwill for I think $3.29 or $4.29, I knew it was going into my collection. I also have a couple of crackle glass vases. I love these little vases. I don't think these are Blinko, but I'm pretty sure they could be rainbow glass. They could be from another West Virginia glass maker. I just like to think they're West Virginia glass. And then lastly up here, I've got this pressed glass pumpkin, which is probably Anchor Hocking. It's probably not from one of the big glass makers. But these are the pieces we're going to be working with today. Now, I don't usually keep them displayed on top of my piano like I have them right now. They are generally over here on this table next to the window. Before we get started working on these vignettes, let's take a look at these 3 simple styling principles that I'm going to be using today to set up this curated little display of my glass. First of all, you want to remember to style in odd numbers, using 3 or 5 pieces for natural visual balance. It's a good idea to mix sizes, short, medium, and tall. Odd groupings feel more relaxed and organic. It works on trays, on shelves, or on tablescapes, even for centerpieces. Styling principle number 2, mix materials for warmth. Combine glass with wood, brass, lace, or books. Contrast helps vintage glass stand out. Actually, it helps anything stand out to have contrast. It adds texture and it keeps things from feeling too matchy-matchy. Real homes feel layered, not perfect. And finally, styling principle number 3, anchor with one strong piece. Start with your boldest item, a vase, a compote, or a tray. Build the vignette around that piece. Let supporting items stay simple. Editing is the key. Give each piece room to shine. And what I mean by that is go ahead and set it up and then see what you can take away from it in order to keep it simple and not overcrowded. Okay, this is where I'm going to be styling these little vignettes. It's kind of tucked in behind my piano in front of the window in my front room. So I hope that you can see it well enough from the photos that I've taken. This little black table actually came out of the church that my mom attended when she was growing up. So it's very special to me. I also have a beautiful doily-like tablecloth on it, and I have retained that for each one of the vignettes that I'm going to show you. Now, let's look at this first vignette. First is the one that I styled for spring. I've got the Ellie Smith vase. I tried putting some different things in it, but it just didn't look right. And I've got the largest swan of the set of 3. The little rainbow bowl I have with some vintage crepe paper Easter eggs in it that came from my mother. And I've got that bowl sitting on top of a beautiful little hanky, which also was my mother's. Underneath that bowl is a little pink glass saucer that's upside down. You can't see it, but it gives a little bit of height to that rainbow crackle glass bowl, and it pulls everything together beautifully. Now, let's take a look at how these principles come into play here with this particular spring display. Going through my notes here. Okay, so I have grouped in odd numbers. I've got 3 pieces of the honey gold glass. I have mixed sizes, short, medium, and tall. You can probably pick those out on your own. And I am doing this as a tablescape. Now, these are all tablescapes. Let's take a look at summer. Now, summer, I used a different little, actually it's a placemat that I put on the table just to pull it together with some unity. Now, I'm only using 2 pieces of the glass here because I wanted to use a beautiful brass vase that I've got. So, I've got my brass vase in the corner. I've got the honey gold Blinko vase there in a handmade pine needle dish that was actually made for me by my friend's grandmother many, many years ago. I have my super oldest Bible there, the one that my grandmother got for me when I was only about 10 years old. You can see it's pretty well worn. I don't even try to carry it around anymore because I'm afraid it'll fall apart. But it does have a nice message to me inside from my grandmother. I've got one of the little crackle glass vases sitting there and a pair of glasses. Those are actually my piano glasses, and they are pulling the whole thing together. And this is a nice little summer display that I can leave out all summer. Again, I've grouped in odd numbers. Now, I don't have 3 pieces of glass, but I've got 3 pieces that are pulling together. I forgot to mention the anchor piece in the other vignette, but my anchor piece here actually I would say is my brass vase because it's the largest one, and I have mixed a lot of materials. Okay, so let's take a look at that vignette for fall. Once again, I have used my Blinko swung glass vase, and it is filled with some money plant that I dried a few years ago, and I've kept it and used it over and over again. Next to that is one of the small swans on an old hymnal. Gives it a little bit of height, and it does add that other texture of the paper. And in front of that is the pressed glass pumpkin bowl that seems to kind of all pull together for fall. Now for the next vignette, I actually used a few more pieces here. I started with my anchor piece being a beautiful ornate silver plate tray. I use silver plate trays a lot in my decorating. I just think they're so pretty. They reflect up on whatever sits on them, and they're just very nice to pull a vignette together. Here I've also used my bubble glass ruffled edge bowl with a battery operated candle inside and a few red glitter ornaments around to add some sparkle. I add a little bit more sparkle with a red foil 4x6 gift box that I used as a riser underneath my 2 crackle glass pitchers, in which I have some Christmas type wintry greenery that has both red and silver elements in addition to the green. And as a little bonus for this one, I found a beautiful little Christmas card with some red birds on it that I put right next to my lamp. So again, I've used these 3 principles of having 3 to 5, or at least an odd number of pieces, having a strong anchor pieces, and mixing textures for warmth and for visual interest. Now we are going to move on to styling just this one little crackle glass vase for different times of the year. Maybe you don't have a large collection of pieces, but you have one piece that's very special. Let's take a look at how to use these same principles to style this vase throughout the year. First of all, I have used this for a summer patriotic display. I've got 3 items stuck inside the vase, so there's my odd numbers. I've got 2 flags and a star. And then underneath it, for warmth and for visual interest, I have a folded piece of flag fabric on top of a textured string, rattan, I'm not really sure what it was, placemat. And then I have a couple of books on either side that are just there for added interest. If I didn't have room for the books, it would be just fine to display this crackle glass vase without that. Next, I'm showing something you could do around Thanksgiving time. That same crackle glass vase works very well with some old brown books, and you could turn the books so that the bindings show, or turn them around so the bindings don't show. A good use for one of those ever-present little pumpkins that we find everywhere in the fall. And I've also put a little picture inside of a wooden frame next to it saying "Give thanks." So this could be done at Thanksgiving. Now, for the next piece, I have used the crackle glass vase for a New Year's display. Again, on a silver-plated tray, which I love to use, but I've styled this so that it would look good for New Year's Eve. Maybe you're going to have a party. Maybe you just want to celebrate New Year's once you get all those Christmas decorations put away. I've used this principle of 3 here several times. I've got 3 of the little streamers that you blow into to make noise. I've got 3 little glass ornaments. I've also got 3 pom-poms and 3 sticks of stars. And you can see there's a lot going on in this little vignette, and there are mixed textures as well. There is the paper card. The clock is also a paper decoration. I don't want to ruin it for you. It's not a real clock. It's just a decoration. But then I've got the foil on the little stick sticking out of the crackle glass vase. We've got the glass balls, and we've got the paper foil on the noisemakers. And I've also got a toasting glass there just for a little bit more interest and to break up all that gold color. It's nice to throw something clear glass in there so that it stays interesting. Next, I have styled this crackle glass vase. For summer, I brought in a lot of green. I've got a pressed, dried vine here in a frame, and I've got an actual plant in a pot. And then again, I've used books as risers. So you can see there are three main things there. And even though my crackle glass pitcher is the smallest of those three items, it stands out the most. So I'm going to count that as my anchor piece. You can see all together there are 5 things in this display, 3 things going vertically, the 2 books and the crackle glass vase. So we're still sticking to these principles, but we're only using this one crackle glass vase over and over again. Thanks for spending some time with me decorating with my honey gold amber glass collection. If you love glass, vintage items, but you live in a real home like I do, I hope that you would consider subscribing. I'm going to be working with lots more decorating ideas, keeping them simple, something that we can all do easily with what we already have on hand. And also, if you are a reseller, I think these videos will also help you in sourcing and staging the items that you're going to resell. I would appreciate it so much if you would subscribe. Like I say, this is only my 2nd video, but I do have a lot of videos planned, and I'm hoping that you will come back.